there's a religious conflict.
He's saying if you kissed her as much as she nags me.
Welcome to Educate Us. I'm Raya Malcolm, and I'll be your host as we take a close look at how education is evolving at Schenectady High School. Our first topic on today's show is the topic of grading. How does a school effectively measure student learning? Professional development specialist Mike Shackelford was brought in to help bring about a culture change.
When we start talking about assessments, many of us have had traditional experiences when we got a grade for everything we did. And one of the things that we're talking about is that as a parent, I would want to know that my child's grade actually means academically what my child can do. And so two things that I've taught the teachers is, number one, first of all, any assessment must measure what a child knows, can do, or understands. It has to meet one of those three criteria. Secondly, it has to have, when we talk about a grade, that grade should indicate a level of mastery of a standard.
I think that all of the research and all of the experts that we have had the privilege of working with are pointing towards that grades should really reflect what students know. That it's not about a compliance grade. It's not about the students that do homework that may not have a meaning, that show up and come to class. That a grade for a class should reflect what a student knows of that subject matter. And they call it actually mastery learning. And we are headed in that direction. Ninth Grade Academy began not grading homework, and that was a shift in thinking for both the students, the teachers, and the parents. But it has had positive outcomes. That the reason for homework is that they're practicing, and that it's going to help them on other things.
I'm finding the new system of just scoring assessments is working really well. It's great to have that conversation with parents and students that they may have a C or a D or an F, but if they did that one quiz over, if they made sure they did that quiz or did better on the test, that they could go from literally F to an A. And it's a great conversation. It's great to see the light bulbs go off in their heads when you physically show them the change in the grade if they did the work. It's a great intrinsic motivator that all of a sudden they see the light at the end of the tunnel, they see that they can achieve an A, and they're motivated to do it. So I actually prefer the way that we're scoring and doing grading. As a parent, it could be intimidating only seeing a few things in the grade book, but again, having that dialogue and that conversation about why, and there's more opportunity to do better because there's fewer assignments maybe that need to be improved. I do give some homework, I do give classwork that I collect, and I give feedback. I do score. They're not weighted in the grade, but I do score, and so students can monitor themselves, and it's giving students great strategies for being college students someday.
Having classroom grades reflect mastery is just part of the answer for improving academic performance. By teaming core teachers in grade-specific professional learning communities, SHS is becoming a more strategic learning environment.
Last year when we began the Ninth Grade Academy, what it started to do was pull teachers together, and they're committed to one another and they're committed to their students. There's a lot more autonomy on their part and decision making because they have a block of time together, and there's a better connection between the students and the teacher because it's about improving student understanding.
One of the biggest things that is occurring, especially on the ninth grade teams, that everybody's kind of working towards a common goal. That students are going to be able to do more and understand more, and then be able to apply it. The application of it prior to this, I found, was difficult for students, maybe because they didn't have as deep understanding. I think with the way things have been set up now, students have a deeper understanding and are able to apply it to what they're doing in the classroom. So by experiencing more success, they're more intrinsically motivated to do well because they're having some positive experiences.
So I think it's been really great that all the students know that we're all communicating, we're all talking, and they can't get away with anything. We're all holding them accountable, and it's providing strength for our purpose as teachers is to have the students succeed, and they see that. They see that not only one teacher cares, but they'll go to Miss Broughton's class and she cares too, and then they go to Miss Best's class and see that Miss Best can talk to Miss Broughton and Mrs. JoJo, and everybody cares and wants them to do well.
At team meetings we go over and we talk a lot about students and different needs that they have and who's successful in one class and who's not in another, and how we can make them successful across the board. We focus a lot on what the students need.
It's forcing me to look at how I teach and grow and look at things in a different way with my kids to provide more effective instruction.
This year, all teachers are posting a daily class agenda and lesson objective. In addition, they are required to complete a daily UBD lesson plan and are encouraged to update their instructional strategies. Mike Shackelford explains the purpose of Understanding by Design daily lesson plans.
The point that we've been trying to deal with the teachers here is the idea of using it as a way to structure lessons so that we connect what I call connecting the three dots. Dot number one is we got to know clearly what students need to know. Be very clear on that. Attach assessment to that assesses and confirms that they got that material. And third, that in the lesson plan that I know the instructional strategies that I need to use to engage the kids in the material so that when I do finally assess them, it's purely a confirmation they got it. And again, all of this has to be done at a high level of expectation.
I find that using the UBD lesson plan really focuses every single lesson. If I have about 7 standards that I'm teaching to, that will be reflected in a final performance task. And so when I go to plan my daily lessons, if the lesson or the activities don't match up with those standards or help my students accomplish the performance task, that activity goes out the window. So I find that my students get more out of the daily lesson because it's focused towards that end result.
What are you willing to fight for? Then we'll go through our PBL story, problem-based learning, on a scenario. Right? I'm going to present a scenario, just like we did in the beginning of the year, of a man who is somewhere in the world, like Carmen Sandiego, and is going to embark on some type of path. In that, he records facts, assumptions, questions that you have about the story. You guys pretty familiar with that? Any questions? Everything that has been produced over the course of last year with the aid of Mike Shackelford and implemented more so this year, a lot of it's been problem-based learning, which you got to see a little bit element of today, where students are really driven to answer questions based on a situation. People are walking along the dirt road in front of the church. The day is so dark and dismal that you have forgotten that the people were leaving today. It gives the students an opportunity to not only explain themselves, but support answers with facts, make assumptions, and then ask questions. And when they're asking the right questions, it leads them to, bigger answers, and they're able to kind of think outside the box. All right, let's go show of hands. You can call on whoever you want.
It's raining.
Wow.
That's good. I mean, you may laugh, but look. Let me say this. Some of the more important facts, sometimes they're overlooked. Why are they overlooked? Because you're like, oh, you take it for granted, the weather. The rain may be an extremely important part.
It's dark.
A lot of the lessons, students are driving where it goes. One of the biggest things that is occurring, especially on on the 9th grade teams, that everybody's kind of working towards a common goal. That students are going to be able to do more and understand more, and then be able to apply it. The application of it prior to this, I found, was difficult for students, maybe because they didn't have as deep understanding. I think with the way things have been set up now, students have a deeper understanding and are able to apply it to what they're doing in the classroom. So by experiencing more success, they're more intrinsically motivated to do well.
Positive changes often take several years to take root. So the big question is, have we turned a corner, and are we on the right track?
I believe we are on the right track. This is our second year towards a transformation of Schenectady High School, and I think the process really did begin last year with our 9th grade academy. In talking to our 10th grade teachers, they are really seeing the difference in students, their independence, their preparedness for class. I had a teacher yesterday say that students are rarely late in 10th grade and that they come prepared with their pencil and their folder. So sometimes it's little things, but there's an attitude shift, I think, in both the staff as well as the students. I think at the end of the year this year we will start to see, particularly I think our Global History Regents results should reflect growth in terms of what's happened and some of the changes. But I think that ultimately our graduation rate, when last year's 9th grade class, which is the class of 2014, when they hit graduation, that's when I think we will really see the fruit of our efforts in our graduation rate. But I think that we are transforming Schenectady High School, and I think there's a feel for that right now.
Thank you for watching Educate Us. I'm Raya Malcolm. See you next time.
I am ready when you are.
Okay. I have to remember the line. Okay. Okay. By teaming core teachers in grade-specific learning communities. Nope. Having classroom grades reflect. What is it? Having classroom grades reflect what? Mastery. Having classroom grades reflect mastery is just part of the academic performance. This year, all teachers. This year, all teachers are what?